Hi there, welcome back to another Lawful Sachin video or Lawful Legal video. I thought I would do a video, a law school student reacts to Don't Be a Lawyer video. This is, a lot of people have done it before, so I thought I'd do my take on the video. But it should be a very interesting one because I've been watching it and I know how to do an analysis of this video, but it's going to be very interesting, so let's get started, shall we?
I'm majoring in pre-law myself.
Oh, no. Bad idea, trust me. Being a lawyer is the worst. Now stand back and let me tell you my tale of woe.
Didn't know what I wanted to do, so I took the LSAT and then just like that got accepted at Glendale U.
So this first part, it's very interesting because everyone who wants to get into a good law school takes the LSAT test. It's basically a law school entrance exam. I'm sure you know it already, but basically if you want to get into a Harvard or a Yale or a Stanford or a Brown or any of those, Columbia University or NYU, you need to get a good LSAT score. That's why in order to go into a law school, it's a requirement in the US to take an LSAT exam to get into a good law school. Now the LSAT goes from 120 points to 180 points. So if you get around a 175, or if you get between a if you get 158, it's not that bad, but you won't get into a good law school. So it's important that you study hard and you get a good LSAT score.
Everyone said it was a real safe bet, a prestigious and lucrative vocation. So I set out on a journey to become an attorney without a moment's hesitation.
Getting a law degree is not, I mean, you got to work really hard for it, because you know, it's a lot of reading and a lot of writing, a lot of legal writing work. I remember in my first year of law school, it was quite difficult because there was a lot of reading and writing, and the writing part wasn't that hard, but the reading part for me was a bit tough just because there was a lot of readings to do, and every week there was a new reading and I just didn't stay on top of it. So getting a law degree is something that if you're sure about going to law school, you should do it, and when you graduate you should know all the things that you've learned in law school so you can be applied to when you get into the workforce.
But here's some free advice I'm giving.
Okay, so the bar exam, once you've completed your law degree, depending on which state you come from in the US, whether it could be California or it would be in New York or Boston, Massachusetts or Miami or whatever it is, there's always going to be a bar exam for a particular state in the US. So apparently the California bar exam is very, very tough, and out of all the bar exams in the US, it's probably the toughest. So just, you got to stay on top of things, you got to study for it. But that's the only way to become a practicing lawyer. After you get a law degree, you go to take the bar exam. But before you take the bar exam, you got to study for it. Otherwise, you're going to fail, and then you won't be able to become a lawyer for that particular time. You'll have to study for it again and then take the bar exam at a later point, because I think there is one in February, and then it'll be like a month later or 2 months later, depending on what their dates are set for the bar exam.
When it comes to deciding what to do for a living, don't be a lawyer. Don't do it. Quickest way to ruin your life. Don't be a lawyer. Not worth it. It'll leave you dead inside.
Okay, so true. Going to law school is very expensive, and yes, you will have debt. You are frankly better off getting a loan for $300,000 and then lighting it on fire and posting it to Instagram, because that's pretty much what you're going to do if you're going to law school. You need to be sure of going to law school, because at the end of the day, when you complete your degree, you're going to have a lot of debt. So it's important that you are absolutely sure that you want to become an attorney or a lawyer, because if you're not sure of it and you go to law school, you're going to have a lot of debt in the end. So just make sure when you become a practicing attorney, you are going to do the job really well. Because at the end of the day, I know someone who's still paying off his debt from law school, so it's important that, you know, as a lawyer, when you become a practicing attorney after the bar exam, so after you become a practicing lawyer, when you become a first year junior, you'll get paid, but you have to be really good at doing your job, otherwise you're not going to get paid that well, and you still have to pay off your debt. So that's really, really important to do so. So just make sure that you are committed on becoming a lawyer, because at the end of the day, you're going to have a lot of debt.
The job is inherently crappy. That's why you've never met a lawyer who's happy. It's a guaranteed soul destroyer. Don't be a lawyer.
Okay, as you can see here, MBE is, you can tell it's the bar exam. As I said before, it's one thing that you must take before you become a practicing attorney, and it's just, yeah, the bar exam is one step away from becoming a practicing attorney. And it's probably the toughest thing out of all. If you compare your law school tests and exams, the bar exam is a step up, so it's quite tough. But that's why you got to study for the bar exam. Once you clear the bar exam, then you're all good and you become a practicing attorney. But as a junior, the senior lawyers are going to give you all their work for you. So just be mindful of that.
Law school debt, daily regret. Is that what you dreamed of as a kid? Or did you hope one day that you find a way to spend 4 years working on a pharmaceutical company's merger with another pharmaceutical company?
Oh yes, that is so true, but not that true, to be honest. As a junior lawyer, once you become a practicing attorney, your senior lawyers will give you work to do, and there'll be cases, if you join big law, you'll be given a lot of work to do, and you'll be given cases about pharmaceutical companies versus pharmaceutical companies, which is the case, and you'll have to be able to give your if you have to go to court, you have to write up briefs and do a lot of legal writing, because watching like Law and Order, or you're watching Blue Bloods, or you're watching Chicago PD or Chicago Justice, it looks nice to be a lawyer, but to be honest with you, when you get into the job first, you're sitting behind a computer for hours at a time doing legal research and legal writing. So just be mindful of that. When you become a attorney, because as a junior attorney, you'll be in big league. If you join big league, you'll be in cases of pharmaceutical companies versus a pharmaceutical company. They could be suing each other, and then you have to, you need to write. You have to do your legal research, and you got to do legal writing based on that. So. Yeah, but mainly the work is given to junior lawyers, so just be mindful.
Your only expertise is running up fees, speaking legalese like a dick. But it's not too late to avoid this fate. Find any other job to pick. Sure, your parents might think you're a failure, but no one's ever said, first let's kill all the tailors. Don't be a lawyer. I'm serious, it really, really sucks. Don't be a lawyer. No one you work with looks like Ally McBeal. There are so many other professions that don't turn you into Jeff Sessions.
Okay, talking about Jeff Sessions. So he worked for Trump. Trump ordered him to do some bad activity, and therefore Jeff Sessions said no, and he got fired because Trump obviously didn't like him for not following up on his work. Therefore, even though if you consider Jeff Sessions, he's a Republican, and he's not that nice of a person, because he was a supporter of Trump. So you don't want to turn into him as a lawyer.
Just say no to the lawyer employer. No, don't be a lawyer.
What about human rights law?
No money, no money.
Environmental law?
No money, even less money.
Immigration law?
No money, plus it's a bummer.
Okay, so it is so true. The environmental law is like a low-paying job. You won't get paid that much as a environmental lawyer. So yeah, and an immigration lawyer as well, you won't get paid that much. So when you're choosing a a path into what you want to do, just make sure you're doing the right you've chosen the right path for yourself, because you don't want to end up in a situation where you've chosen a job like in immigration law or environmental law, and obviously it's not great, because they're not really high paying lawyer jobs. So if I were you, just choose something like IP law or corporate law, because those are the higher paying jobs. So just be mindful of when you're choosing a path of what type of lawyer you want to be. You can go make sure it's a good job, and you'll be able to do it, and it's a high paying job. But in order to be paid very highly, you need to work really hard, and you need to be very successful in the job that you do.
Okay, but what if one day you make it to the Supreme Court?
It'd be great to be on the Supreme Court, but you'll never be on the Supreme Court. There's truly no chance of that happening.
There are about 9 justices, and they are appointed by the president. Okay, so to be on the Supreme Court, I don't even know why people want to be on the Supreme Court, to be honest with you. Or you need to be friends with the Prime Minister. In terms of here in New Zealand, you'll be voted in by the Parliament to be on the Supreme Court. Not everyone, to be honest, gets on the Supreme Court. I don't know why you want to do that, because it's a very tough job and odd hours. So yeah, so I honestly, I mean, I would love to be on the Supreme Court, but I'm not saying I'm going to get into the Supreme Court, because you need to be appointed to be on the Supreme Court by a president, your parliament, or prime minister. They're the ones who make the decision on getting into the Supreme Court.
The preceding song in no way reflects the views of CBS and the CW network. Ah, screw it.
See? Don't be a lawyer.
Okay, so now I'm going to give a review on this legal realism. Well, let's go back to the start. So an LSAT test is absolutely real. It's very important that that everyone going into a good law school needs to take a LSAT test and to get into a really good law school. It can be Harvard or Yale or Stanford, or it can be any other law school around the country. Just make sure that you do well in the LSAT. That's absolutely true. And then it comes to bar exam. Now the bar exam is another thing after getting your law degree, that you take the bar exam so you can become a practicing attorney. The next thing is, obviously, it's absolutely true that you're going to have a lot of debt when you finish law school. So just be mindful of that, because you'll have to end up paying it all off but just keep, once you pay it off, then it'll be all good. But even if you can't pay it off when you finish your degree, you pay it off when you become a practicing attorney. For example, in New Zealand, we don't have the bar exam. We go into another course called Professional Legal System, a legal course where you basically do a bunch of assignments, and then you get admitted to the bar, and then they accept you, and then you become a practicing attorney depending on what field you go into. The next thing is choose your job wisely on what field you want to go into, because there are specific roles as a practicing attorney on where you won't get paid that much, and therefore it's important that you choose a job that you get highly paid. But it's important, in order to get a good paying job, to get experience. And getting experience and like getting an internship with a law firm, like once we complete second year, we can apply to law firms, and we will be able to do some work over summer depending on what they give us. But it's quite competitive, because in New Zealand you have Auckland University, you have Victoria University, you have Otago University. It's all competition. I think they look at your grades and how well you've done and what you've studied, because second year onwards, that's what they're really looking at in order to join a law firm. So that's another part of how reality works in this video. Another thing is, obviously, there are 9 Chief Justices on the Supreme Court, and in order to get you need to be appointed in order to get onto the Supreme Court. You can't apply to get onto the Supreme Court. You have to be appointed by a by a parliament, or a prime minister, or a president. And yeah, so that's the end of the video. So for legal realism, I would give it an A-, because half of it I would say is true. But yeah, this video, which I'm doing an legal analysis of, is Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. I've never watched a TV show of that, but I will watch it in the future. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Remember to smash the like button, give it a thumbs up, and remember to subscribe for more. Thank you.